Hi, welcome to the podcast. Today we're going to be talking about going from people pleasing to powerful boundaries. My name is Allison and I'm joined by Kate. Kate, would you like to introduce yourself briefly for us?
I am a trauma therapist at Living Stones Counseling Services, and I love talking about things related to therapy and how we can grow.
To start off this conversation, how could listeners distinguish between genuine kindness and people-pleasing behavior?
So much of it is motivation. Genuine kindness comes out of joy in your heart and a desire for the other person. Whereas people pleasing comes from need to make this person happy for me to feel okay.
That's huge.
Yeah. And you're doing it for yourself, not out of the goodness of your heart.
And these are good things that people are doing.
Yes.
They're not bad.
They're not bad things, no.
But the motivation could be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The motivation. And people pleasing is very sad and unhealthy when we're people pleasers. We're not secure. And we want to be centered and secure in ourselves and who we are in order to live an abundant life and to be able to do acts of kindness.
Right. It feels
Freely.
so much better.
It feels so much better.
Yes.
To do kindness freely without a need behind it.
Yeah. Why do so many of us fall into the peace at any cost mentality? And what's the emotional toll?
I think we fall into that because we're afraid of how people are going to react. We're afraid of people not liking us if we stand up for something that's different. If we truly stand up for what's true for us, we're afraid that people will get angry at us. We're afraid of their anger. We feel like anger is dangerous, so we want peace at any cost. But it is a big toll. It is a big emotional toll because you lose yourself when you're people pleasing. You're doing what the other person wants, not what's in your heart that feels right.
Would you say there's any life experiences that would cause someone to be more going towards the direction of being a people pleaser?
Absolutely. When you have not been respected, when you have not been valued, if you struggle with self-worth, you please people because you're afraid they're not going to value you. Trauma is a part of it. Like a car accident wouldn't necessarily cause you to be a people pleaser, but abuse would, especially sexual abuse.
Really?
Yes, because you've been used.
So it just becomes almost like a normal feeling.
Yes.
I think about people that are raised in chaotic situations, chaotic homes.
Yes.
How people pleasing might feel like, or doing this peace at any cost, might feel like they're gaining control.
Yes. Yes. You're right.
Yeah. When really they're losing their own feelings.
Self.
Yeah, their self.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are some common signs that a person has weak boundaries in their relationships?
Probably the biggest one is they feel a lot of resentment because they don't set boundaries and they eventually get to the point like, I don't want to do what you want to do all the time.
Yeah.
They don't always want to do what the other person wants to do. Sometimes they want to do what they want. You tend to be very wishy-washy and not have an opinion because you're people-pleasing, and it's exhausting. You become very tired because you're always doing for others, not caring for yourself, not nurturing and strengthening who God created you to be. So people pleasers get exhausted.
Exhausted and resentful. I think of how I've seen that resentment turn into cutting people out of your life. So you've always been people pleasing, you're always doing what the other person wants, and then you end up just cutting people off.
Because you can't do it anymore.
Meanwhile, you've never communicated your needs.
Right.
Yeah, it's a vicious cycle.
Yes.
Yeah, wanting connection but not able to actually achieve it.
Yes.
What are some simple, powerful ways that listeners could set a boundary right in the moment?
One way is being a broken record. When people ask you something and you don't want to do it, and they're used to you doing whatever they want, you have to state what you want simply and clearly and repetitively. Because if you don't, they will manipulate you. They're used to manipulating you and twisting your words. So if you're a broken record, no, I don't want to go to this restaurant.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to go to this restaurant. No, I don't want to share a meal with you.
I'm a people pleaser in recovery, and I learned a powerful statement. Someone told me that no is a sentence.
Yes.
I always felt like I had to explain why I was saying no.
Yes.
And I could just say no.
And it loses its strength.
Yes, when you explain it.
Yes.
No.
No is a complete sentence. Very true.
It feels uncomfortable, though.
It does. And you're explaining feels like it has a reason. You feel like you're being nice when you're explaining. So it makes the no softer.
Yes.
But it gets in the way.
Yes.
Very much.
I would lie. If people would try to make plans with me, I would lie about what I was doing. And then I realized I could just say, I don't feel like hanging out tonight. That's it.
Yes. Yay.
So just say no.
Just say no.
And if you have to say it a few times, be a broken record.
Yep.
Yeah. It's easy.
It really is. It really can be easy. It's just so uncomfortable.
How do you handle the guilt or fear of making others angry when you start saying no?
You get support.
Yeah.
For people that want you to say no.
I congratulate you when you say no.
Yes. Because it is hard to deal with the guilt and the anger. And part of that is also becoming strong in yourself and knowing I matter. And what I want matters. I don't want to hang out tonight is valid. And you have reasons for that. And you get to use your time how you want to use it, not how everybody else wants you to use it.
You made me think about, of course, I'm tying it back to childhood because that's what all therapists do. But if you're raised in a home where you don't have say, how that can translate into people pleasing as an adult.
Yes, yes, very much so.
Yeah.
When you don't have a voice in your family.
So saying no is prohibited when it comes to your schedule and your time. Yeah. Yeah, being an adult and learning that you set your own schedule now.
Yes.
It can be uncomfortable, though.
It feels awkward and foreign, but freeing.
Should you say something to a person if you know that you've made them angry with your boundary?
There are definitely some times when you shouldn't. You let them be in their own feelings. It depends on the relationship you have. If the person wants you to grow and wants you to be your best self, it's appropriate to tell them. To say, explain, hey, I'm learning how to say no. Yeah. I'm learning to have boundaries. Yeah. And they should welcome it. But some people don't deserve that.
Yeah, that's true. So for some people, some relationships, just saying no is okay, even if they're mad or upset.
Yep.
But yeah, relationships that you want to grow, you want their support.
Yes.
Maybe saying, I've noticed that you get upset when I set a boundary with you. Acknowledging what's already there.
Yes. Yeah. And being able to have a conversation about it. And let them have their feelings.
Yeah.
Because being angry isn't wrong. It's just a feeling. Feelings aren't right or wrong.
I used to feel like there was an expectation for me to be a people pleaser. So then I felt like when I set boundaries, those closest to me were a little shocked. How would you deal with that response?
I'm learning how to set boundaries and to honor myself.
I like that. I'm honoring myself.
Yes.
What should someone do when their newly set boundaries are ignored or disrespected?
That goes back to the broken record.
Yep. Say it again.
Say it again. Kindly, gently, but say it again because it's going to take a while for the people around you to get it.
Yeah.
They've known you one way.
That serves them.
That serves them. Yeah. And so they're going to have to get used to you being different.
What does it look and feel like to go from a people pleaser to someone with powerful boundaries?
Powerful is a key word because you feel empowered.
Yeah.
When you have boundaries and you're comfortable with them. You probably are not as tired. You are probably just generally happier because you're not doing what everybody else wants. You don't have resentments and awkward because it's different, but it's like you get to explore a whole new world.
Where, having your cup filled.
Yes, having your cup filled.
Yeah. So it's freeing. Boundaries are freeing.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That boundaries are freeing, but they are. But they are. You know where you are, and you know who other people are. You're not in this wishy-washy middle ground. Who's me and who's you? Right. Yeah, that's great. Yes, it is. Well, thank you so much for talking about people pleasing. I'm sure it's something that will resonate with a lot of people. Yeah. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.